The Viking Age. From the late 8th to the early 11th century, this was an era of mystery, blood, and fire. We often imagine the Vikings as fearless raiders with long ships slicing through the waves, but the truth runs much deeper. Beyond their conquests and voyages, they carried with them customs so shocking, so brutal, that even today they spark fear and fascination. Tonight, we dive into the shadows of Viking life to uncover their most chilling and enigmatic traditions. Let's begin with the Berserkers. These weren't just warriors, they were human storms, embodiments of fury and raw power. The word berserker comes from Old Norse bear and serk, meaning bear shirt. Some say they wore the hides of bears, others believe they carried the spirit of the beast itself. Imagine an army where men, half naked and howling like animals, rush at you without fear of death. That was the terror of the Berserker. The sagas tell us how Berserkers worked themselves into a trance known as Berserkergang. They would bite their shields, roar like wolves, and charge straight into enemy lines as if pain no longer existed. To their enemies, it must have looked less like a battle and more like a nightmare come alive.
What is he doing?
But how did they reach this frenzy? Some scholars believe hallucinogenic mushrooms, such as Amanita muscaria, played a role. Others suggest poisonous herbs like henbane. Did chemistry fuel their rage, or was it pure willpower and belief? We may never know, but what we do know is that their uncontrolled fury sometimes turned inward, making them dangerous even to their own kin. So feared were they that eventually some regions outlawed the Berserkers altogether. With the spread of Christianity, their wild pagan rituals clashed with the new order, sealing their decline. Yet even as one tradition faded, another emerged in mystery: Viking tattoos. No preserved skin survives to prove they existed. Yet 10th century Arab traveler Ahmad ibn Fadlan described Rus Vikings covered in tattoos from fingers to neck, winding patterns of trees, serpents, and symbols of power. Imagine the intimidation of warriors whose skin itself was a tapestry of myths. The process was brutal: needles of bone or iron, soot-based inks, and no concept of hygiene. Every mark carved into flesh was permanent, painful, and meaningful. These designs weren't just decoration, they told of faith, victories, or rank in society. Each tattoo was a story written in blood and ash. But not all Viking rituals were painted in ink. Some were written in flesh and bone. Let's talk about cannibalism. Shocking? Yes. Widespread? No. But sagas whisper of warriors devouring their enemies to steal their strength. Archaeologists have even found bones with cut marks, suggesting flesh was stripped away. Were they meals of survival during famine, or chilling rituals of terror meant to send a message? The truth is still fiercely debated. Yet, if cannibalism was rare, Another ritual was far more established: human sacrifice. To the Vikings, sacrifice was a sacred offering known as blot. Blood was the bridge between men and gods. Animals, wealth, and yes, humans could be given up to Odin, Thor, or Freyr in exchange for victory or survival. The German chronicler Adam of Bremen described the temple at Uppsala. Every 9 years, a festival saw 9 males of every species, including humans, hanged in a sacred grove, their bodies left to rot beneath the trees, gifts for the gods. For the Vikings, this was not cruelty. It was cosmic necessity. And then there were the slaves, the thralls, expendable in life and even in death. Ibn Fadlan again gives us a chilling account. When a Viking chieftain died, his ship became a tomb. Weapons, treasures, animals, and one slave girl, chosen to follow him to the next world. Drugged and abused, she was led to her fate, strangled and stabbed by the chief's closest kin, her body laid beside her master before the ship was set ablaze. Did she go willingly, as some accounts suggest? Or was it the final act of a cruel system where choice never existed? Whatever the answer, the ritual left an indelible mark on history. But perhaps nothing embodies Viking horror more than the infamous blood eagle. Described in sagas as the ultimate punishment, it was said to be reserved for the most hated foes. The victim's back was cut open, ribs severed from the spine, lungs pulled out and spread like wings, alive. A grotesque offering of pain and spectacle. Historians still debate whether it was ever truly practiced or whether it was legend amplified to strike fear. Either way, the blood eagle has become the symbol of Viking brutality. The Viking Age was a world of extremes, explorers who discovered new lands, but also men and women bound by traditions as awe-inspiring as they were terrifying. Their rituals force us to question, how far can belief drive human behavior? So as you reflect on these haunting glimpses of the past, remember, history is never simple. It is blood and myth, fear and faith, all intertwined. If this journey into the Viking shadows gripped you as much as it did us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, because the mysteries of the ancient world have only just begun.